Well, I did it. I finished. If you want to stop listening to this video right now, probably a good idea. I've got some rambling to do, a little bit emotional. Number one, to you, Mr. Colin O'Brady, if you felt a disturbance in the force today, that was me cursing your name. And if you feel a little back pain over the next week or so, that might be a voodoo doll, but don't worry, it'll go away just as quickly as it comes, I promise. But seriously, holy shit. Yes, I'm going to swear in this video. So, finished it. I literally got back to my truck at 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 45 seconds. So, call me a slacker. I didn't do the last 15 seconds. That was my last break of the day. 23.24 miles. Most of it in the rain, as you can see on my sunroof there. I would say for a good 7 hours, it just drizzled and dumped rain all day. As I was coming back, as I was about halfway back, the sun tried to peek out a little bit, but it never made it. So I think the biggest thing that I learned from this is that I have shit on my body that I never knew existed and now hurts. But the other thing, Gene said that suffering was optional. I definitely took that option a few times today. So, I had a really, really hard time starting at about hour 4, and I was probably, 9.5 miles in at the time. And I had kind of made a commitment to myself that I was gonna go for 5 hours and 30 minutes and then turn around, knowing that I would feel much worse coming back, even though it's slightly downhill. There's 400 feet of elevation gain on this trail over 15 miles. So even though it was slightly downhill, I knew that I was going to feel much worse. And by the time I got to 4 hours, honestly, I was ready to call an Uber. So I did not want to finish this whatsoever. So, sorry. This is how I was after I finished my first triathlon too. So you talk about limiting beliefs and turning it into a possible mindset. So, anytime I've done any endurance sort of things like, 50 plus mile bike rides or, 13.1 mile runs or, anything like that, I have a tendency to cramp to the point where my legs literally lock up. And they started to do that around hour 4. And so I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Legs are going to lock up. I'm going to have to call a freaking Uber. I'm not going to finish this. And all of those limiting beliefs crept in. I brought a bunch of electrolyte tablets, and I was just eating those like candy starting at about hour 3. And then I ran out of my 2 liters of water about halfway back into town. So I knew that I had probably about another hour to go without water. And so I got 3 28-ounce Gatorades when I got to the little service station or whatever once I got back into town. And filled up my Camelback with that and chugged one while I was sitting there waiting to start up again. So I had a lot of limiting beliefs. And, one of those being, there's no way a 52-year-old dude that weighs 345 pounds should be able to walk 12 hours. And that dude damn sure shouldn't be able to cover 23 and almost a quarter mile. Believe me, my high C is just going nuts that it was 23.24 miles, but I had no more steps left in me. So So those were my limiting beliefs. And honestly, I almost called you, Brian, when I was having that breakdown and just saying, what's this look like if I freaking quit 5 hours in? Because I wanted to. I'm not even kidding. Like, I would have called an Uber. And so I got to the REI rest stop on this trail, and which is fitting because 90% of the shit I was wearing was from REI. Great Seattle company. And I just sat there for about 20 minutes and had some food, had some electrolytes, had some fruit, and just got up and just said, I'm just going to go not as fast as I can, but I'm going to just go to make progress. Just put one freaking foot in front of the other and see what happens. And, on the way out, I was feeling really good, especially for the first 2 hours, maybe even the first 3 hours. I was cranking off miles at 21, 22 minute pace. So, this trail is 15 miles long, and I even, recorded a video at my first, pit stop. Man, I'm kind of thinking I can make it all the way out to South Prairie, 15 miles. But, the challenge is that I got to come back 15 miles. I really thought that I could have made it the whole 15 miles in 5.5 hours and then given myself 6.5 hours to come back. I'm really glad that I didn't do that. Because I'd be out here for at least another hour. It's pitch black right now. I had my headlamp on for the first 2 hours this morning and the last probably hour tonight. But I just fucking kept going. And stubborn Norwegian in me just said, just keep going. And then you get to a point in the trail where it wouldn't make sense to get an Uber. So for the last probably 3 or so miles, you're kind of away from any major highways or any houses or anything like that. I do think somebody was shooting at me with a airsoft gun or something as I was coming back, which was super pleasant in the dark. I had to turn off my headlamp so they didn't have a good line of sight. But when I got to the 2 mile away from the trailhead, I just kept, my mantra was, less than 2 miles to go, you got this. Less than 2 miles to go, you got this. Then when I got to 1.5 miles, less than 1.5 miles to go, you got this. Less than 1 mile to go, you got this. Less than 0.5 mile to go, you got this. Less than 1/4 mile to go, you got this. And lo and behold, I had it. So really glad that I did it. I am going to miss the Seahawks game tomorrow. I'm sad that I won't see Bobby Wagner's return to Lumen Field because I've got a buyer's appointment in the morning at 9, and I plan on spending the rest of the weekend in the hot tub. So love you all. Hope you're having a great evening. I'm excited to see everybody else's posts once I get home and am not driving, but wanted to get this off my brain, and I'm going to just sob all the way home, and I'll see you guys in March.